We have a problem stating that calculate the mean deviation about the mean of set of n natural numbers given that n is an odd number. So we start with some friendly points you can be confident with. So n is an odd number, so we might write n as 2m plus n. The first n natural number sum is, you know from algebra, is n into n plus 1 by 2, and mean of set of n natural numbers can be found like this: sigma n divided by n, and putting the value of n you get m plus 1. You can give it a thought for a minute, and let's start with some hefty stuffs. So mean deviation about mean, from statistics, is putting the modulus. Modulus can be fun if you know how to use it. Putting the value of n from the earlier assumptions. Putting the once again value of n. Again x bar. X bar can be written as m plus 1. Putting the modulus. We move forward. Let me give some space. So here is the crucial step that I'm going to have it right in front of you. Note that we can write this statement as like this. You can have a shot at your sticky notes sometime. Putting the modulus. This can be amazing stuff if you encounter it for the first time. Well, for me it was the first time once. So we expand the sigmas like this. M plus 1 is 2m plus 1. Again putting the modulus, and again the term in the sigma. Okay, we have some pretty much developing algebra. You have to be patient for a clever answer. So here can we just see if we put at the first r equals 1 in this, we are going to get a negative answer. So we know from algebra classes that this modulus gives a negative sign already to make the quantity positive, to have its own benefits. So we are a clever observer, so we must put the curly braces and remove the brackets. Not brackets, it's modulus. Yeah, put the curly braces on. Again, being a clever observer, we first notice that if we put r in the place of r and plus 1, we are going to get 0. 0 is not positive nor negative, so we are not going to put negative sign as before. Putting the curly braces on, removing the modulus. This can be fun if you have that enthusiasm regarding sigma and algebra. Putting the big brackets. Okay, we have some really clever algebra developing. Now we have the curly braces which can be broken if we apply the algebra steps. You see some familiar steps here. Okay, negative times negative is positive. You must notice in this step that this is a constant quantity. We are only manipulating with r's, and we have no r's in this term of sigma. So m plus 1 is here a constant. We are not going to add any manipulation in this. So what we are left with is 1, invisible 1. Again, so we have it. Pretty clever algebra, you see. Again, m plus 1 is a constant. Doing the next step, putting the big brackets on. Now we are going to remove the sigmas and write in the order. So you see that remove for a minute, if we remove the negative sign, you see a very familiar stuff. Yeah, in the upper corner. Yeah, let's move on. This is a constant, so must put it outside. What we are left with is 1. So sigma times m, what we are left with is m. You should have some previous knowledge to do some statistics algebraic problem. So here, this can be a crucial step. Take a minute, make a note, and come back later. So what we are dealing with is a tricky question, so you must have some patience and several points to attention to um, adding the first and last terms. 3m plus 2, 2m plus m is 3m plus 2. Okay, putting the negative sign. Again, m plus 1 is a constant. We put right here, making the curly braces even more special. So we can write it. What we are left is 1. So 1 is nothing but m plus 1. Okay, we have developed some pretty sound stuff already. So as you can see, it is going to subtract with m into m plus 1. So plus m times m plus 1 by 2. You see some correlations. M plus 1 whole square. Okay, let's take something common in them. So I have taken this common. As you can see, we are approaching to our final answer. Take a break and come back later if you want to, but have a copy or pen to note the important steps. Again, is 2m, this cancel out. Voila, we have something so profound already done. So what we are dealing with is algebraic manipulations. So what we have got left is a quantity in m. We put the initial assumption into action. We have this initial assumption. So aren't we just going to leave it with a hypothetical m? No, we must put it like this. So n minus m by 2 is m. You can check that later. Okay, let's move on to our final answer. N minus 1 up by 2 is n minus 1 by 2 plus 1, putting the small braces, 2 into n minus 1 by 2 plus 1. Yeah, as 2 get cancelled, we can cancel this also. What we are left with n minus 1 by 2 and n minus 1 plus 2 by 2. This gets 4, and from the previous knowledge of algebra, secondary school knowledge, you can write it more profoundly like this. There you have it, your answer. When n is an odd number, the mean deviation is that much long.